In tonight's headlines, GOB meets with Belize City business community to address crime. National security responds to Guatemalan incursions in rural Toledo, and a new conservation post is inaugurated in the most remote part of the Chiquibul National Park. These stories and more on this week's edition of Belize Now. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, June 22nd, 2018. I am Erin Guzman. Members of the Belize City business community gathered at the John and Wesley Center in Belize City on Monday, June 18th to discuss community safety. Our Belize Now team was there for the joint meeting hosted by the Ministry of National Security and the Belize Police Department.
Through the efforts of the area representative for the Albert Division, Honorable Tracy Tager Panton, and her Albert Action Committee, the business owners in the area had the opportunity to discuss crime prevention with the Minister of National Security and the senior ranks of the Belize Police Department on Monday, June 18th. We spoke with the Minister of State with responsibility for investment, trade, and commerce, who told us what prompted this meeting.
We have had a series of meetings as a constituency. We started first with the church and school community, and that meeting was very successful. And we now with the business community to see what we can do collectively. You know, it's one issue to deal with the elements of crime. It's another issue to deal with the causes of crime. And so we hope by this multi-pronged approach, we will be able to make some serious inroads.
The meeting comes less than 2 weeks after the launch of the Belize Police Department's Operation Safe Zone, which was implemented on June 7th after increased incidences of crime in the Albert Street area. The department provided an update on the operation, as well as detailed the efforts of the National Crime Fighting Strategy, which was launched back in February of this year. Deputy Commissioner of Police, Clyde Williams, gave us an overview of Operation Safe Zone.
Operation Safe Zone basically came about with a view to be able to see how best we can work with the business community on Albert Street to make the shopping experience for the customers more safer, as well as the merchants who are doing business to do so in a more safer environment. And so it is a way for us, the Belize Police Department, to ensure that we live up to our mandate in ensuring citizen security on Albert Street, as we have been doing in other parts of the city. As you have heard from the persons who are present here tonight, that they can see the officers moving around all day, stopping and searching persons who are in the area who may appear to be suspicious, with a view to ensure the safety of everyone on Albert Street.
The business community had strong representation at the meeting, and we used the opportunity to hear from some of those present. Here's what they had to say of the meeting and the police department's response.
This is a shopping area, it's a business area, it's a commercial area, for many reasons, but this is the heart of where the economy is for Belize. The business area should be the first priority in any country, because that's where the tourists, that's where the money come, that's where everything comes from. So we have to have some type of stability in that area when it comes to in protecting ourselves, in the police area, in overall.
I think the biggest block was to try to get the trust factor, and I think that this Albert Street initiative has really jumped that. I think what has happened here is that in 2 weeks, the personal and dedicated service that the police department has shown, I think that it's really given a new vision to the members of Albert Street, and I think has really bridged a huge communication gap, and I think that's something that we need to now move forward into phase 2 and phase 3 and phase 4. It's very easy to say that, we all must do our part, but when the time comes together to actually do it, it's not implemented. So such meetings, I think, are absolutely paramount to bring the parties together so that we are all on a common page, but we need to move forward together.
Already, the business community is following through on its promises to support the Ministry of National Security and the Police Department in their efforts to deter crime.
We have pledges from the business community to support in the little things, water, food, telephone credit, to support the officers, but also for some of the big things, some of the technological equipment and cameras that is required. We're hoping that this will be so successful that it can serve as a pilot for other communities to follow. And so that we can share ideas and experiences and hopefully create a safety zone, not just for downtown, but for the wider Belize City.
Since the amalgamation of the Ministries of Home Affairs and Defense a few months ago to form the Ministry of National Security, Honorable John Saldivar has been engaged in consultations with the stakeholders and has been on the ground with the men and women of the police and Belize Defense Force. The minister expresses delight with the reception of the business community.
The turnout was great and the reception since we began Operation Safe Zone has been tremendous. The business community has been coming up, helping, interested in being a part of the solution. We feel very good about how we are moving in this downtown area. In terms of Operation Safe Zone, we have been in touch with the business people in this area, and tonight is the culmination of all that discussion to see how we can get feedback, to see how we can improve our response that we've already put in place.
Minister Saldivar also noted that his ministry is planning for a Citizen Security Summit scheduled to take place in July.
We hope to bring an even greater number of stakeholders together. We expect in excess of 200 persons to come to that event to discuss in a more comprehensive manner the approach to solving crime in Belize.
Also present at the meeting were Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner, Commissioner of Police Alan Wiley, and Southside Commander Senior Superintendent Howell Gillett. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Mencius.
The government of Belize's Central Information Technology Office, CITO, will host its 2018 Summer Creative Programming from July 9th to August 3rd. We heard from CITO's Policy and Training Coordinator, Delcy Koo, who told us why the initiative was started.
CITO wants to be champions for having kids learn computer skills at an early age. We have realized that the technology field is growing vastly. We're surrounded by technology generally, and having kids learn this skill at an early age is really a good thing because it helps them in the future, not only career-wise, but also to develop necessary skills when they become professionals in the future.
Since its inception in 2014, the program has evolved from a focus on learning math, reading, spelling, game creation, and computer programming to a sole focus on programming.
Computers, smartphones, tablets, everything uses programming. So for children to learn this at an early age, it is an advantage for them. So we basically focus our program on that. We want to teach children how to code or how to do programming. It's not necessarily teaching them the language, but it's them learning the skills and the concepts to go ahead and code. In doing that, they learn other skills, for example, problem-solving skills, conceptualization, critical thinking, even communication and socializing during the program.
The government of Belize's Central Information Technology Office, CITO, will host its 2018 Summer Creative Programming from July 9th to August 3rd. We heard from CITO's Policy and Training Coordinator, Delcy Koo, who told us why the initiative was started.
The first few days of the week, which is days 1 to 3, we try to introduce them to the coding concept. And then the last 2 days is where we want them to apply these concepts and to develop and create something themselves. So that creativity skills is developed as well. We cater for children ages 7 to 13. So the first couple of weeks are for children ages 7 to 9. So parents can sign up their kids for either the first week or the second week of the program. The latter 2 weeks is catering for children ages 10 to 13. So parents can sign up for their kids on the last 2 weeks.
Parents interested in signing up their children for the program can pick up application at CITO's office located on Mountain View Boulevard in Belmopan. The cost for the program is $30 per child and deadline for applications is Friday, June 29th. We'll have more stories after the break. Stay with us.
It is said that bridges are perhaps the most invisible form of public infrastructure. However, bridges not only connect communities, but they connect people and cultures. Since 2008, the government of Belize has invested in building bridges countrywide. Areas once impassable in times of flooding can now withstand the heaviest rains thanks to the new Kendall Crossing and Santa Elena bridges. The Iguana Creek Bridge has been rebuilt and the Balama Bridge has provided much-needed traffic alleviation for Belize City. The Roaring Creek Bridge is being replaced with the Hallover Bridge soon to follow. These projects provide employment as we continue to build Belize. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward.
I know my status.
Nenau Kirinkaush.
Subuse Guatina Nungwa. Lida Natwadi Low Seed.
I know my status.
I know my status.
Yo sé mi estado de VIH.
我知道我的状态。
I know my status.
The National AIDS Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, proudly commemorate the first annual National HIV Testing Day on Friday, June 29, 2018, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. under the theme Achieving 90-90-90 by 2020. National HIV Testing Day 2018 will be hosted at San Pedro Town, Corozal Town, Orange Walk Town, Belmopan, San Ignacio Town, Dan Griga Town, Punta Gorda Town, and Belize City. Come out on Friday, June 29th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at a location near you for free HIV tests, multiple health services, games, and information booths. Know your status.
We know our status, and you can too.
National HIV Testing Day 2018. Achieving 90-90-90 by 2020.
On Thursday, June 20th, the Minister of National Security, Honorable John Saldivar, along with members from the Belize Defense Force, CEO Felix Enriquez, and Belize's ambassador to Guatemala, His Excellency Alexis Rosado, held a meeting with alcaldes in Dolores Village in the Toledo district on issues regarding encroachments by Guatemalan farmers on Mayan communal lands. Our team also attended the meeting and has this story.
A number of incursions into Mayan communal land have been occurring over the past 2 years, and most recently, those incidents have escalated. Dolores, Otasha, San Benito Poite, San Vicente, and Halacte are the communities along the border that are being affected. These communities use the land collectively, which is customary for their subsistence agricultural livelihood.
The amount of incursions that they have seen on their land has resulted in lands being cleared, forests being cleared, survey lines being put in, fake pillars being put in as markers and then replaced with fence posts. There's an increased amount of cattle ranching, aggressive cattle ranching from Guatemalans on the other side, coming on to the territories of Belize, coming on to the customary lands of these 5 communities. This is not small incursions. There are cleared plots that are as large as 100 acres that have been completely clear-cut for cattle ranching.
Not only are the communities losing more of their land, but for some, they feel threatened by the presence of the illegal farmers who have been aggressive at times. In response to those issues, Minister of National Security, Honorable John Saldivar, said that the BDF troops were deployed in the area as soon as his ministry was alerted of the issue.
We want to send a clear message that this is Belize, and we will defend every inch, every centimeter of our country. The presence of the BDF in the area we believe, has, at least for now, halted the situation, and we are hoping now to provide a more long-term solution to the problem to ensure the safety and security of all our citizens in this area. My presence here this morning is to give assurance to all that the government of Belize, the Ministry of National Security, the Belize Defense Force, the police department will do all in their power to protect and preserve the integrity and sovereignty of our country.
The leaders of the 5 affected communities each shared their concerns, and their suggestions for plans to resolve the issue were presented to the Ministry of National Security and the BDF. Cox said that the community leaders are doing their part to ensure the integrity of Belize's borders and are committed to working with the government to curb the incursions.
We're very happy that this meeting has resulted. We look forward to seeing some of the proposed solutions that the communities have put forward, that they become effectively adopted in the strategy of the state to continue to defend our national integrity, our national borders. We redouble our efforts, and we continue to impress upon the state that we are committed as a Maya people to work with the authorities.
All in attendance at the meeting agreed that a solution to put an end to the issues will require input from both the government and the communities. A follow-up meeting with the BDF and alcaldes to further discussions on a way forward has been scheduled. For Belize Now, I'm Miriam Longsworth.
On June 8th, the government of Belize, in partnership with the European Union, held 3 short ceremonies to inaugurate new bathroom facilities in the Independence, Mayamopan, and Bladen communities. The new facilities are a part of the Banana Accompanying Measures BAM Sanitation Improvement Project. Catherine Mendez, Deputy National Authorizing Officer for the Ministry of Economic Development, told us what inspired the project.
When this idea came from the Ministry of Health, that they identified that there were problems at the clinic level, and they said, look, we need to work on the bathroom facilities and also a health and sanitation program to teach students and teachers, and by extension the community, how to use the facilities.
The new bathroom facilities are built to accommodate both students and teachers. The facilities also come with ramps and sidewalks to provide easy access for the physically challenged. Some of the principals shared their gratitude in their remarks.
Before the construction of these bathrooms, our previous restrooms were unsafe for use because of countless aftershocks of earthquake in the region. The walls were cracking, the concrete roof was destabilized, and the septic tanks were leaking. Today, we can give thanks to the European Union, the government of Belize, because of these realities is certainly improving. We now have bathrooms for our 34 teachers and 953 students.
We are grateful for this project that will benefit our teachers and, most importantly, our students. Health is an important issue when it comes to our children, and with our new restroom, our children will have the necessary facility to keep them healthy.
The completion of the sanitation improvement of the 3 sites was funded by the European Union and the government of Belize under the BAM program at a cost of 1.2 million Belize dollars. Stay tuned for more stories after the break.
It is said that bridges are perhaps the most invisible form of public infrastructure. However, bridges not only connect communities, but they connect people and cultures. Since 2008, the government of Belize has invested in building bridges countrywide. Areas once impassable in times of flooding can now withstand the heaviest rains thanks to the new Kendall Crossing and Santa Elena bridges. The Iguana Creek Bridge has been rebuilt, and the Balama Bridge has provided much-needed traffic alleviation for Belize City. The Roaring Creek Bridge is being replaced with the Haulover Bridge soon to follow. These projects provide employment as we continue to build Belize. The government of Belize, moving Belize forward. To enhance and preserve short, medium, and long-term safety, efficiency, climate resilience, and socioeconomic benefits of Belize's national transportation system, the government of Belize, along with the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB), has collaborated with public and private stakeholders to develop the comprehensive National Transportation Master Plan. The CNTMP for short is a holistic document which will guide investments in transportation, lead the full adoption of International Air Transportation Association best practices, guide institutional strengthening of key actors in Belize transportation sector, and much more.
The Protected Areas Conservation Trust, PACT, along with the Ministry of Forestry, the Environment and Sustainable Development, the Ministry of National Security, and the Friends for Conservation and Development, FCD, inaugurated a new conservation post in the South Sabata area of the Chicabul National Park on June 14th. Here's more on that event.
Located around 1,500 meters from the border with Guatemala, the Sabata area is the furthest location in the Chicabul Forest Reserve. Due to its remote location, the Sabata area is a hotspot for illegal activities such as agricultural encroachments, marijuana plantations, harvesting of shate leaves, and poaching of Belize's protected animals. The closest Guatemalan communities are within 1.2 kilometers of the border. Minister of National Security Honorable Jan Saldivar said that the Sabata Conservation Post has been long awaited, but it will serve its purpose in maintaining the integrity of Belize's natural and cultural resources.
We are at all times mindful that an essential factor in protecting Belize means that we must protect the natural environment, and on this basis, a key strategic objective of my ministry, and indeed our government, addresses the security needs of the Chicabul, with an agenda to provide the necessary efforts to arrest and deter the ongoing illegal activities and prevent evolving threats.
The CP will be able to house a team of up to 12 enforcement personnel, including BDF, Police Department, Forest Department, and FCD rangers. It will provide all the necessary amenities, including sleeping quarters, an outdoor kitchen, outdoor hygiene facilities, a 25-foot lookout tower, and most importantly, a water catchment system to supply safe, potable water for the enforcement team. I encourage the enforcement team and partners to be stationed here to make the best of the new facility, but also manage it properly so that it may serve the people of Belize for many, many years to come.
Derek Chan of the FCD told us that patrols in that area were only done once a month because of its location. Now, with the establishment of the conservation post, improvement in operations is expected.
Construction of a conservation post here will be more efficient because they will be on 24 hours and 365 days of the year.
Within only a few kilometers away from the South Sabata post and clearly visible are areas of Belizean land that were being cleared for farmland by neighboring Guatemalans.
We might send a patrol here once a month because we have other areas to patrol. And by the time you come back the next month, then they have gone to other areas, and the mountain is so thick, the forest is so thick, and then the mountains are so high you cannot really see far away. So that's how the encroachments happen. The border is not marked, and Guatemalans will eventually just inch their way, come into the forest, they're looking where to plant their corn, they have no land, so they come in here. But once you put a conservation post, then they start to respect that.
Chan explained that protecting the Chicabul National Park is protecting parts of Belize's heritage and biodiversity. The Chicabul is over 600,000 acres and holds one of the largest cave systems in Central America.
This is where the third segment of the Chicabul cave system is, which is called the Sabata Caves. right? The Sebara region, which there is a number of caves. There is one right over here. The big Sebara cave is right about 500 meters from here, and there's a number of entrances with really beautiful stalagmites, stalactites. There's a river in there. I mean, it's part of our heritage here. The importance of a cave system, because it is limestone. It's where our watersheds are. So all our water here is in limestone. So the forest also acts as a big sponge, and all of that is important for our waters, for our headwaters.
Also notable is the Sabada's historical significance. The very road leading to the post was cleared some 30 years ago by Chicleros. Many of the trees they climbed are still standing.
We used to come here, our grandparents, they used to come and do logging in here, and that lumber used to be exported, right? It's part of our economics incentives, you know. So we've been here for a long time.
For Belize Now, I'm Miriam Longsworth.
The South Sabada Conservation Post was financed through the Chiquibol Forest Investment Initiative, CFII, at approximately 115,000 Belize dollars. The CFII was launched in 2016 and represents the single largest investment in the protection and conservation of Belize's biodiversity. And that's it for this edition of Belize Now. If you want to provide feedback or send in your comments, please feel free to email us at info@pressoffice.gov.bz or visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week. Until next time.